Coach. Well, obviously, I know when we talked to you in the summer, I guess earlier, Alvin Kamara, you mentioned him. His 75% is as good as most hundred. Just what have you seen from him through these first few camp practices? Now that he seems to be a little bit more healthy.
Well, it's clearly he's back to 100%, and now it's just in that point of knocking off some of the rust that maybe we haven't gotten in our OTAs. Because of the canceled off-season program, which I think he's doing a fine job right now of just, bit by bit. We still got a lot of practice in front of us, just building on some of the things that we already know and obviously expand on things that we're putting that's new in the offense.
And then if I could follow up on that, we know he's a guy that really attacks getting better in the offseason. Is there an area you've seen him, really show any kind of improvement in?
Well, I think overall, it's just the ability in the run game to anticipate some of these reads. I mean, it's ain't just a last year thing. This is just over the course of time here, being year 4 that you can put on things from this rookie year to the second, third, and that natural instinct. We're just trying to keep on developing that in the run game. Obviously the pass game, his connection with Drew, how can we expand that, whether it's moving him around and creating different mismatches. But, it's more so of just, continuing to build and get better at just little things that he's done in the past.
Next question is from Nick Underhill. Nick?
Coach, when there's new guys on the offensive line, is there an element of building chemistry and familiarity that needs to take place for the running game to operate as it should?
I think anytime you have anybody new, within, whether it's the offensive line, the quarterback, with Jameis now, learn a cadence, feeling a technique maybe by a guard that, maybe, we've been through that experience with Jari to Larry, then you got Nick going in there when we had injuries last year. So there's always a little bit of newness to our schemes, but our schemes are our schemes. So, everybody's, just getting on the same page. I think it goes hand in hand with all positions across the board.
Next question's from Luke Johnson. Luke.
Hey, Joel, I think last year Alvin only had 2 catches that went for 20 or more yards. That was a big part of his game his first couple of years. Was that? Can you just chalk that up to the injury, or can you find different ways to kind of get him the ball to create those bigger type of plays?
Well, and obviously we're always trying to search different ways to create those opportunities, which we're deep into it as far as this offseason and into the season right now. But like you guys said at the beginning, his 75, like I said in the offseason as well, his 75% is still better than other guys' 100%. So we just got to make sure we continue to keep him healthy, keep a good track on that, and then obviously us as coaches, with the addition of Emmanuel Sanders, with the way that Jared came on the end. Now we're creating some more matchups to maybe now we're getting singled up on maybe the lesser athlete, and we can exploit those in space.
Next one's from Nick Underhill. Nick?
Just what have you guys seen from Ty Montgomery and then some of his versatility? How does that open things up for some of the stuff you guys can do?
Well, I think right now we're still in the early phases, but what Ty's shown is an ability to pick up our offense and function. That's the first deal. And then obviously as a runner, like I said earlier, I see him as this piece of putty that hasn't had a lot of experience, even though he's listed as a running back. He's been moved around from room to room as far as wide receiver, running back. Maybe it's been more of a scat role. And, just in the early parts of practice now, he's shown an ability to be a runner, as far as running some of our inside zone schemes, the slash scheme. So it's encouraging now as we're starting to dabble in third down and getting into the 2-minute stuff here the next few days. That's where we'll hopefully see this role expand a little bit more. And I don't know if it's going to be called a gadget player, because I think he can do, all 3 things. He can run, he can catch, and he can pass protect. So you just see the versatility that he has that, might create a mismatch problem when he gets out there on the field. I mean, he's wearing 88. He might be recognized as wide receiver to begin with at times. So, we'll see as this unfolds.
Next question's from Amos Morale. Amos?
Yeah, kind of following up on what you said about Ty Montgomery. I know the coaching staff here often talks about a vision for the player. Is that vision sort of starting to form, or do you think you guys need more time to kind of figure out where exactly?
I think we're still, you don't want to pigeonhole a guy this early in camp and say this is what he is. I think like right now I go to practice and I put him in all scenarios. So I think things are starting to unfold a little bit. I'm perfectly comfortable, with him as far as a runner. Obviously, I know the skill set from watching film in the past with him as a pass catcher, but I think at this time he is a running back that can do all three phases in our concept. So he's just not a one-trick pony right now as we sit at it.
Next question's from Larry Holder. Larry.
Hey, Joel, I've asked a few of your cohorts the same question. How do you evaluate the running back position when preseason can be such a vital importance? And, I mean, it's not a ton of live fit practices for hitting running backs and how they kind of do pass protection and all of that.
Well, I think the deal with us, with coaches and, Sean here as we get going, is to throw these guys as many live situations as we can, yet maintain the development and the health of our team as well. So we got to be able to throw them in the briar patch, stick their nose in it, and evaluate off of that. I mean, that's what we have to do as coaches. We know that now. We know we don't have the preseason, to go against other guys. So, there's days we got to crank the heat up and, hey, this is live ball. I got to stay back as a coach and let them go play. And, make sure their knowledge is up to point and see how they react in the truest real life situations that we can put them in. So, it's the thing is there's 31 other teams that have to do it as well. We're not the only ones. So, we're all kind of in this unique situation. And I think the way we've evaluated personnel in the past and everybody in this building, we've got a pretty good group to do that.
Next question's from Luke Johnson. Luke.
Hey, Joel, maybe it's not fair to ask you about something that's not strictly your position group, but try anyways. Look, how much is the continuity on that offensive line and just the overall success you guys have had there played a part in your offensive success? I mean, these guys, obviously they're not going to be on like the cover of Madden or whatever, but you've had a pretty consistent string of guys playing really at a really high level there, basically since you've been here. So I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I think, as the running back coach, you're always walking in there confident that, hey, we have an ability with what we have up front, obviously our quarterback in the perimeter. We've got a pretty solid group that we feel like we get out there in the run game with the continuity we've had that, 5 yards is not a small task to ask for as far as trying to average and roll and go with the runners that we have to combine with what's going on up front. So, I think any type of team chemistry, group chemistry that you can continue to carry over from year to year, that's got to be a positive. There's nothing that's negative about that, especially, the way that Dan, coaches that front and they're on the same page and it goes across the board with all of our coaches on our staff. We've got continuity as well as a unit.
I think that should wrap it up. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.